As a Faculty of Education Ambassador, I was invited to mentor a group of 10 first-year students to assist with their transition into university and the Faculty of Education. The overall aim from a faculty perspective of this student mentoring was to enrich the student experience by linking commencing students with a more experienced student. It gives students a clear contact within the uni who can help with their transition to studying at Monash and also builds a sense of belonging within the faculty. My expectations as a mentor were to email or Facebook my mentees once a week until week 4, to meet with my mentees face-to-face where possible to answer any questions, to answer any general questions about the university in a timely manner, to put mentees in touch with other students from their area of study, to take them on a campus tour if they miss orientation day, to share with my mentees how I handle my university studies and balance this with other commitments, to provide them with information about the services available to students, and to be a friendly face on campus. During this 4-week mentoring experience, the networks that I not only utilised but who also supported me were the Faculty of Education, especially Louise Broadbent from the Monash Education Ambassadors Program, as well as my fellow ambassadors who were also involved as mentors. To support one another, we communicated online and during a fortnightly face-to-face meeting where we discussed our progress and any issues we may have faced. Reflecting on this mentoring experience, there are a handful of policies which I adhered to. Victorian Institute of Teaching tells us that a registered teacher, we must engage in at least 20 hours of professional development activities each year to renew our registration. There is no list of required professional development activities, so in selecting an activity, individual learning needs must be considered in relation to the context of teaching, the needs of the learners and the priorities of the learning environment. This diagram from the VIT website provides an understanding of the range and variety of methods that can be used to update professional knowledge and practice. In order for this mentoring experience to count towards 20 hours of professional development, there must be evidence that the activity links to the Australian Professional Standards for Teaching. My mentoring experience meets 3 standards, these being Standard 4, 6 and 7. Standard 4 refers to creating and maintaining supportive and safe learning environments. Over the 4 weeks I was involved in the mentoring program, the following substandards were met. 4.1 Support student participation. By emailing students, I was able to bring to their attention the upcoming university events which were specific to first years. 4.4 Maintain student safety. The emailing between myself and students was confidential and their details were not shared. 4.5 Use ICT safely, responsibly and ethically. This links with the above standard, however, this experience allowed me to communicate professionally with students using ICT. Moving on to Standard 6, which refers to engaging in professional learning. This mentoring experience meets the majority of the substandards in this standard. 6.1 Identify and plan professional learning needs. This mentoring experience was something that was discussed last year in an ambassador meeting where we identified that first year students felt they didn't have sufficient support once O-Week had finished. This is ultimately how the pilot mentoring program was developed for 2017. 6.2 Engage in professional learning and improve practice. Setting goals for myself during this mentoring experience helped to improve specific areas of my practice. 6.3 Engage with colleagues and improve practice. Meeting fortnightly with colleagues and engaging in chat rooms online helped me with this substandard. The final standard met was Standard 7, which requires teachers to engage professionally with colleagues, parents, carers and the community. 7.1 Meet professional ethics and responsibility. This was met in the mentoring session through professional and appropriate in-person and online communication with my peers and fellow staff members. 7.2 Comply with legislative, administrative and organisational requirements. This was achieved by maintaining professional boundaries with colleagues and Monash staff, organising meetings via Timebridge and arriving on time, as well as creating a joint document with staff and mentors outlining expectations. And finally 7.4 Engaging with professional teaching networks and broader communities. In order to establish our email templates, we outsourced information from the Berwick Education Ambassadors who had run a similar program in the previous year. Another policy which my mentoring experience also addresses is the Victorian Teaching Professional Code of Conduct. The Code of Conduct outlines 3 sections. Section 1 Professional Conduct, Section 2 Personal Conduct and Section 3 Professional Competence. Below is a list of how I met different subsections during my mentoring experience. Lastly, after reflecting back on my mentoring experience, I would like to set myself some goals for my future practice, predominantly in regards to how I see myself as a leader. Brymer and Cray 2006 described leadership in terms of effectiveness and self-growth. I want my leadership traits to resemble the transformational leadership model, that is, as described by Brymer and Cray 2006, as a form of leadership which develops followers' thinking, supports individuals, and provides inspiration. The following are the goals which will take me into my teaching career. A good leader has excellent public speaking skills. They speak clearly and confidently and leave a lasting impact on their audience. My goal is to improve my public speaking skills by attending the courses offered by the Peninsula Ambassadors throughout the year. Shields 2014 describes leadership as being ethical. That is, leaders do not develop rigid sets of practices for all individuals to conform to, but rather develop a system for determining right or wrong in a situation based on the beliefs of the school. To become this type of leader, I want to understand the beliefs of the schools I attend on placement or work within. I will read policies and mission statements and understand the uniqueness of the student body as well as the demographic area. This will ensure that each decision I make is well informed. Additionally to leadership development, I would also like to develop an honest communication with my students, creating a safe space where students are able to open up. I want my approach to teaching to be holistic. To achieve this, I will develop a rapport with my students in Term 1. I'll meet with each of my students for a one-to-one session in the first term. Overall, this mentoring experience gave me the opportunity to be a leader. Although only to a small group, I was able to implement the qualities I believe to be important in a leader. It gave me the opportunity to develop professionally, but has also allowed me to pinpoint particular areas for future growth. Professional development is an ongoing and lifelong process, and this mentoring experience is only the beginning of what is yet to come.